Hello, hello, hello. Hey, I should be live. I should be live. Actually, let me take one out. I should be live. Can you all hear me? Put a one in the chat if you all can hear me. I see a couple of folk. Welcome, Lou, Dev Lou. Welcome to the chat. Acting all the time. It says struggle family. I'm stopping through showing some love, but not going to be able to stay back to the job. JOB. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming through though. Thank you for coming through. Put a one in the chat if you all can hear me. Because we just started up. We just started up. We just starting up right now. Uh-oh. I'm getting messages. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we just starting up. We just starting up. Thank you everybody for being here. AO Peace. Thank you for coming through. Ayo, we still have your question from last time. I remember you had a question, so I'm gonna check that out. If you remember it right offhand, because I'm gonna have to go back and search for it a little bit, but if you remember offhand, let me know. Before the billions, welcome. And listen, without further ado, because this is gonna be so the title of today is Negotiations, Smegotiations, right? That's going to be like the main type of topic that we're talking about negotiations within tech or negotiating tech salaries, compensation packages, kind of having some discussion about that, understanding what some individuals' experiences have been there. And we're going to have you all walk away with some advice. If you want, here, let me throw this in the chat first. If you all want to jump on the panel and join the conversation, feel free to come through. And as that's happening, again, negotiations. I have a couple of other topics too that we're going to have some discussion on. And yeah, let me go ahead and get it started. Let's see. Let me hit that. We're going to do the intro video. We're going to do the intro video really quickly, and then we're going to get to it. Now, if I can get my bearings here. Okay. Boom. Let's go. Welcome, everybody, to Struggle Security. We are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And today, we're going to be having some discussions about negotiations, but also answering a lot of your questions that you all have there within the chat. Welcome, everybody. So what I typically like to do is give a little update, kind of give a little life update. So last time I talked, I told you all, this is my wife and her god sister. They went to Vegas to see Usher. And, thank God, there is a God. She made it back. She made it back to me. She made it back unscathed. There were no like Keke Palmer situations. I don't know if you all have paid attention to that, but apparently Usher, the singer, he's an R&B artist. He was serenading people's girlfriends and wives, but I got the pictures. I was getting the videos. I was getting the live. She had me on live while she was there, and I'm safe. I'm still married. I'm still happy. Things are still good. So she made it back to me. She made it home safely, and she said it was a good flight. And from Detroit, it's like a one flight. It's not too far away. But that's the first update. That's the first life update. Second one. Number two. And I'm gonna make these quick. I'm a champion. Let me put this on. I'm a champion, right? I'm a champion, right? I'm just a champion. This right here, this might not mean a lot to you, but it means a lot to me. All right. This means a lot to me. This is my first 5K that I've done since 2008. Oh, no, not 2008. Maybe 2000. Let's see, 2017, 2018. My first 5K, and I'm just a champion. I kind of want to wear it the whole time, but it might be a little distracting. But I'm a champion. I did that. Let's see, this past weekend, and listen, I was sore. Got the arms, the legs sore. Was getting it jogging. I'm not gonna say I ran the whole thing. Okay, I didn't run the whole thing. It was like a run, walk, stop, start, go. Let little kids run by me. It was some listen, it was some elderly folk in there. Listen, they were getting it. Okay. They were going a little faster than me at times. They were going a little faster than me at times. Welcome, Lou. Welcome, Dev. I'm just giving the updates on life. So I'm a champion. So I'm gonna wear my medal. I'm gonna wear my medal. And the baby had got it. She was just banging it on all of her toys and throwing it around. But that's another one that I want to give. That's the second life update. And the third one is that I was out walking around the neighborhood with the baby stroller, right? It's a little cool. So, had the baby bundled up like a little cocoon. And then I had ran into somebody who I used to play in the band with. So so for those who don't know, I play low brass. I play low brass, specifically the tuba. And I played in high school. I played in college. I played afterwards. I gigged around the city. But I met up with somebody who now lives in my neighborhood. And he said, "Hey, I got something for you," because these typically don't come your way very often. He said, "I got something for you." And today he brought by a horn for me. So he brought by a tuba for me. So this is a tuba. This is the horn that I play. Right? This is the horn that I play. So I've been messing around with it today for him. Let's see. See, I'm a little rusty, so I'm gonna put that down. So that's the third life update. I got a horn. He just dropped the horn off for me. I'm supposed to be gigging. We're supposed to do some gigs around the city. He plays banjo and like guitar. I think he played a couple other instruments. So he wants a bass line to rock with him. So that's another thing I'm getting into. So the first one, my wife made it back safely. She made it back safely from the Usher concert. I'm safe. I'm still married. Things are good. Second one is that I did the 5K. Like I said, I'm a champion. Okay, I'm a champion. I'm gonna wear my medal proudly. Put it over my shoulder, wear this mug proudly. And third, I got a horn that I'm gonna start playing again because I haven't played. It's only been about a year or so because I had to step away because I had family stuff and work was going crazy. So yeah, a lot has happened in a short period of time. But welcome, Dev, Lou. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the panel. And thanks for being here. You got anything to update us on? Kind of just like overall things, or you trying to get into it? You trying to get into the subject?
Hey, no, I'm cool. Man, I want to cam up, but it's like my lighting is real bad. You see what I'm saying?
I gotta listen. Whatever make you comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
whatever
my
make you comfortable.
my lights off.
Yeah,
crazy.
No, you good.
Yeah. But yeah, man. No, that's cool, man. No, bro, you gotta get. No, that's good to hear, man. You gotta get in that 5K. I get the exercise, bro. I try to. Hold on, let me show you. I do this.
Champion. I'm just gonna put this on my shoulder. What you got? You going to get the weights? What you about to do? About to get that dumbbell? Lou about to get the dumbbell.
My work from home stuff. You gotta. Yeah. Keep.
Yeah. You got the
CrossFit thing.
Got the CrossFit boys. Okay. Are those like the bungee cord joints?
No, these are jump ropes.
Yeah. Jump ropes. Okay.
Yeah. So this is
a weighted one. Rope. Yeah. Because you get your cardio and your other I don't know all the terms.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but yeah, we gotta stay in shape, man. Working from home and being you know what I'm saying? Like being tech guys, that's good, man. That's what's up.
I was just about to say, I think that's probably a whole subject within itself that we could do a live stream on. How to still, stay active, keep up with hobbies, even while working from home, working remotely. That could be something that we talk about for sure.
No, that's facts. Yeah, that 5K, that's cool, man. That's
man.
Hey, you tripped me. You said the Usher thing.
She made it back, man. I'm safe. She made it back. She made it back. She came back. I was like, "Listen, Daddy's home." Okay. I was like, "I'm here." Happy you made it back, man. So I was real happy about that. I'm like, "Yes, no serenades." I told the god sister, I said, "Listen, watch her close, okay? Make sure he stay up on stage. Make sure you don't come down that aisle." I told her, "Block the aisle if she tried to come down their aisle." So mission accomplished. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna say what up to a couple other people in the chat. Let's see. AO was here. He said, "Let it burn, let it burn." Yeah, let it burn. It was good. I was happy she made it back. It's fine. Portability said, "Congratulations." I know in the Discord he said, "Congratulations there." Yeah, thanks again. I can hear me say, "Congrats on the 5K." How are the joint? You listen, they're fine. They're fine right now. But after that 5K, they weren't, because I had maybe 1 day of training, Lou. I had 1 day of training. I trained on Wednesday. So I ran a straight 2 miles. I don't know how. But then I've been recovering. I was even recovering during the race. So joints are cool. What's up, Auntie? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Ayo said, "Man, this thing is sound crisp. It sound good? Okay, cool. Listen, I'm trying. I got the treadmill in the garage. Let's see. That's part of it. Because AO is also a tech individual. You got the treadmill. You need your home gym up. My exercise used to be body slam and printers. Jeez. Okay. That's an exercise. Like every hour or so. That's what's up. They be coming with the comments, don't they? Success overall. Absolutely, DC. Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm just gonna say what up, and then we can get into it because I have an 8 o'clock. I got a dip at 8. So, Lou, I know that last time that we had a conversation, the live stream, you had said that you had a subject that you wanted to cover. So I want to open up the floor for you. We could talk about.
I mean, this is a good. This is definitely a good topic. Negotiations. What did you mean by that? I want to make sure I understand. Are you? I know you know, because you always talk about how important negotiations are. So are you saying?
Yeah.
So help me out. I want to, because I'll jump on that. I'll be the next segment after.
100%. What's up, Professor Blackhouse? I want to say what up to Professor Blackhouse. We just went over the overall things, right? What's been happening in my life. I was telling about the 5K. I finished. I'm a champion. I told him about, I said my wife made it back safely from the Usher concert. So she's back home to me. And I also got a horn. I got a buddy of mine that sent me a horn today. He dropped it off. So, we doing good. So, but back to Lou's question. Do you want to say anything before we jump into kind of the negotiations thing and how this came about? The subject came about?
Who, me or Lou?
You.
No, let's just jump into it. Once again, congratulations on both of those. Yeah. I was looking up Usher tickets. I think I'm gonna try to go. So since he's in that residency there, so
So one thing, he's about to start going from city to city because he's had so much massive success. So the city to city tickets are way less than the residency. So
are they? Yeah, I thought it'd be the other way around.
Nah, that residency beats, man. I'm not even gonna tell you how much she spent. I spent, she spent, we spent on the tickets. So
I'm glad you told me, because I guess him being in Vegas, I know people flying to Vegas. I guess after a while, like, hey, everybody that's seen him that came. Yeah. A lot of people can't come to Vegas, so I thought the tickets would go down.
That's what you would think, but I know my wife is doing some comparisons because she was like, "Dang, it's so much less," because he's coming to Detroit pretty soon. For like just a city to city joint, and it's significantly less than a residency.
Okay, I need to see if he's coming my way to Indiana, or maybe I'll fly there. It's not that far. So
well, here we go. Let's jump into it because it actually came from a post I saw on LinkedIn, right? So check this out, right? This is a job offer negotiation cheat sheet. Job offer negotiation cheat sheet. And I wanted to kind of go through this and have some conversation and really get some of you all's ideas too about what you all have done, maybe some tips and tricks and things that people can walk away with as it concerns negotiating for tech salaries, right? So let's just start from the top. It says job offer negotiation cheat sheet. And I'll put the link in the chat shortly. So it says strategies to get paid. One thing that it starts off saying is that 85% of candidates who do negotiate get more, and employers want you and expect you to negotiate. Now, let me tell you, with me and kind of the way that I took you all out. Kind of the way that I was brought up is that my family, coming from a predominantly Black place in Detroit, Michigan, my family always had a thought that if you are employed, you lucky that you employed. You lucky that they gave you a job. So take whatever they give you type of thing. Where when I started learning about negotiating salaries, that was kind of like a whole mental shift for me. because I'm like, oh wait, we don't just stop at the first offer. Like if they give me the offer, that's not enough. I mean, there's more to the process. Have you all had similar experiences, or what do you all think about that? Are your families similar? Yeah.
I in some ways, I guess most people kind of like that. We being, we do have a lot of leverage. We do, if you have, being a skilled trade, because you're right. Like when you're used to working like temp jobs or, basic baseline, minimum wage, but you kind of just want to get what you can get. Right. But a lot of people don't know that they have more money in the budget for certain things. They just kind of, you gotta, and then when you got another offer to leverage against them, then they automatically end up finding money. They start, if they really want you, that kind of gauges it, right?
Right. That's a fact. Like you can get more if they really want you. But how about you, PBO? Have you come from that mentality that whatever they give you, you should be lucky they gave you a job type of thing? Or you on mute?
Yeah, that's kind of where I started from. And to be honest, I just kind of got lucky. So my last probably 3 jobs, I knew the people, and it's Keepy Tech is called a clean. That's really what the bill rate is. So I knew what the bill rate is. So I always try to get 75% of the bill rate. So so I was kind of cheating. So I kind of knew the back end office of it, right? Because I was kind of in those meetings. So I just kind of been lucky. Listening to you and all the other people, kind of got me thinking a little differently. Because to be honest, I probably out of my 30 years, I probably had 15 jobs. I don't know. I probably only negotiated one salary.
Oh, wow.
Right. Like I said, I've been lucky because the guys were like, this the clean. We want you. We're going to give you 75% of it. I'm like, okay, is that the max? Can I get a little more? They're like, no, there's no profit margin left. So
that's more like the government contracting, right? There's that clean, there's that salary range for the role. And that 75% is thought of to be pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah, because you in that game.
It's new to me.
Well, I know because when I worked with Booz Allen, they were charging $250. They were paying those guys in high school $80. They were taking like 80. They were taking like 70% the other way.
Wow.
So I've seen people, and my first one, that's why this guy, and I'm interviewing him, cool white guy. He told me, he goes, dude, you're getting 40% of that clean. They robbing you. Come work for me. He had something called QPA, which is a special contract with the government where he doesn't have to go through a prime. And he just told you, I like you. I'm gonna give you 80%. So I roll with it. So I got to sit in the back office and see those numbers and those plans and see what the split is. So
how about you, Lou? Did you negotiate for your current role, or did you kind of just go with it? He's like, yo, this is great.
I basically negotiated this. I had another offer and I leveraged against it. And they took me from my last role.
Nice.
I'm in a new company now and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Dope. And I think that leads into the first point, right? I think the first thing that they say in the prep checklist part is to discover, says get the budgeted salary range from the recruiter at the beginning of the interview process. So, sometimes we going through an interview and we don't know what that range is for the role.
Facts.
Here is saying, listen, discover what that is early. So you asking the recruiter those questions is not out of bounds, right? You having that first conversation. What's the salary range here?
Well, real quick, Indeed. Sometimes the job shows you the salary range. Yeah. And sometimes Indeed, I think they guess the salary range. I don't know how they get it. So I guess the question is, have you compared them? Are those close? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
are those close to the range?
It depends.
They trolling with these ranges now. I saw something that had 130 to like 700,000. They trolling.
Facts, like Netflix does that.
Facts, man. Facts.
So we were looking at a Netflix. Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
I was just saying, I think New York passed some type of ordinance. I know Colorado has that.
Yeah.
That they have to put the range.
Yeah. Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Top Cyberdog says facts, or they lie about the listed range. Okay, so you want to discover that early on. Start off with understanding what that is. And I think another part of discovering what it is not you giving information about where your current salary is. You don't have you don't have to share what your current salary is. I actually recommend that you don't share what your current salary is. in order to try to negotiate some type of range, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because your current salary should have nothing to do with the salary range for that job description, because that job description's salary range is outside of the context of what you're currently being compensated for.
I had a recruiter tell me, he said, that's 40% of more than what you make. I said, what does that have to do with anything? I got
what
new
does that
skills.
have to do with anything?
I got new skills and a new me. So
right, because that job, I mean, that salary range was set outside of you even interviewing. They don't even know what you was making. So they shouldn't be.
Well, I told him I made a critical mistake. I told him.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So he asked me, so I told him. So then he was like, "Oh yeah, we give you 40%. You killing it." I'm like,
"Yeah,
nah, man. I'm an Oracle DBA now, and I'm a certified. I need X now. You know,
I need X.
I need that 6-figure now, man. But we talking about Luke probably was in diapers, man. I think that was 1995, maybe. Yeah.
But me and Gabe the same age.
I'm a little older. I'm probably like 3-4 years older than you, probably.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no, I was probably right out of diapers.
So yeah, that's probably 1995, man. I had my little Celica rolling through the hood with a Coogee on. Go ahead.
Celica. I was born in 93.
Were you?
Yeah, 93.
I'll be forgetting how old I really am. I'm about to drop off now. I'm just playing.
No, you're good. You're good. Stay here. Now, the second one is looking at the research. The second one they say here is research. Find typical salary ranges for similar roles. Websites that we always go over: levels.fyi, Blind, Fishbowl, Indeed, LinkedIn. Compare and contrast all of those sources for similar roles, right? You want to understand what that, and another thing in that discovery is understanding what that title is, especially when you're talking about like big tech companies. You ask them what that level is, because the level, right, L4, L5, L6, L7, they have set salary ranges for a lot of those different roles within big tech. So asking them, getting information from the recruiter, and then going and doing your research is an extremely important thing to do. Anything else? Anything y'all want to throw on that one before we keep on going?
No, and I think that's a new thing as an old guy. I'm getting used to that. Like you said, that research, there's a lot of numbers out there. Like you said, a lot of people telling what they're making. So I think
very true.
For me, it's a different process. So
now that's another piece. That's another piece.
Make sure you take advantage of. Keep going. Make sure you take.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Just make sure you take advantage of it. As an old guy, it's like like you said, I'm finally flipping the switch on that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, go before the billions. Welcome before the billions.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
You know what? Yeah, I wanted to talk about this.
Go ahead.
Man, I'm glad everybody's here. So I had got a recruiter call me the other day. I think it was around like last week.
Okay.
And he was just a recruiter. I hadn't had any interview or anything, but he was proposing me. He was trying to poach me, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know what he said though? That really I'm thinking is new now. He said I needed a written form from my employer that I left.
What?
No, I can see that. You know why?
Overemployment.
That's what I was thinking. Hey, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
he said he wanted a written form that said I've been released.
And two, if you look on I've seen on Indeed, they ask you, will you work another job? At the same time, I think that's not your business, but they
none of your business.
They ask you that on Indeed now. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, dog. I was just ad-libbing. I was like, that's what I was like. How's this y'all business? Like, what's
keep going. That's the new thing, man. Because overemployment is the new hack. So
yeah, the role was about. It wasn't too much more money anyway.
Yeah.
It would have been like. So I think the role they wanted was like 120 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I don't know. They just all that. It was that stuff, some other stuff. I was like, I don't know if I really.
Yeah, it was already kind of iffy. So you weren't willing to throw in that leave for something.
And I like my job. You know what I'm saying? I like my job too. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to try to. You know what I mean? I was kind of iffy on it.
Yeah, Justin Williams coming in. He said, I had one recruiter try to push me to tell them my salary range. I wanted to ask them how much do they make just to demonstrate the uncomfortableness of it. So he wanted to reverse the question. Justin wanted to troll the recruiters. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen. If you don't want the role, feel free. Say how much you make. How much you make? Tell me how much you make.
And I think that's why Indeed start posting them. They just say it's on the job description now.
Salary transparency is a big thing now.
I want go back to that one real quick.
This one?
No, the 13, the GS13.
I want the GS13 classified pay.
King 38, King 318. Don't no disrespect. I turned down the 13 8 years ago, so I was but now because I think 13 tops out at 110,
something like that. Something like that.
So
I looked at the ranges before, so yeah.
Yeah, keep grinding 318. You could get that 13, man. The government for me was easy though. Sometimes I'm thinking, man, I'm out struggling. I could have took that 13 and put my feet up.
Yeah, man. So that's one thing that we've been talking about. And welcome B2B. We talked about a couple of things here. We talked about why negotiating. The first one is that the 85% of candidates who do negotiate typically get more, and employers want you to negotiate. We talked about discovering, right? Getting that salary up front from the recruiter before you even start to engage in the interview process, and also research it. So that's where we kind of had stopped at. You got anything on any of that you want to input?
Yeah, I do. The first thing I got to say is I was born in 95.
95. Let's go.
Damn.
Let's go.
Damn. How's your dad, P? How's your dad, B2B?
He's 53.
Ah, damn, I'm older than B2B's dad.
Nothing wrong with that.
Go ahead, B2B. Go ahead.
We have multiple generations here. Well, two, but it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add in on the topic because I've had to do salary negotiations before.
Okay.
And I had to walk away from a potential opportunity because the salary, the job offer that they gave me was too low.
Facts.
And what was going on was they kept going and messing with what the title was because I went in, I'm a data engineer. Yeah. And data engineers, I'm expecting a range from close to like in the six figures, right? So I'm expecting something in the six figures.
Right.
And they switched from being a data engineer, senior data engineer, to then being a senior data analyst. So they changed the title, and then the salary switched to around, I want to say like 89,000.
Yeah.
Way below what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, we initially negotiated about the senior data engineer position.
Yeah.
Why is it that we switched the title, or why is the salary so low? Can we, get it up to closer to this range?
Let's bump it up here.
Right. They said they can't go a penny more.
Really?
Over what they said. We're at the very top for this particular role. And then I'll say, wait a second. Let me look up how much a data analyst makes. And what they did say was pretty accurate for a data analyst. Yeah. But they would have gotten a premium because I have data engineering experience.
Right.
For a data analyst role.
It's dirty. It's a little dirty there.
Yeah, so it's completely switched. And it took a long time for them to come back to me about it. So they already probably found somebody that they wanted for the position.
Right.
And then maybe that didn't work out. And then they came back to me. It was like a month or so later.
Right.
Sheesh.
So I tried to negotiate, and I was willing to leave because I'm not desperate for the opportunity that bad.
That's I think an element too, is always be willing to walk away from whatever that opportunity is, because if you're negotiating, sure, you want to have what your threshold is. You want to say, hey, this is what I'm willing to accept in order to jump into this role. But if it's below, if you accepting less, if you know that you getting shafted in this negotiating process, you should be willing to walk away. And you know what makes it the easiest to walk away is when you're already employed, right? If you unemployed, you got a little bit more stress on you. You got that's actually one of the things that they initially ask you is that, hey, what's your reason for leaving your current role, right? Or what role, or tell us about your role. If you don't have a job, or if you're unemployed at the moment, they really try to take advantage of that because it's a psychological thing. Yeah.
Gabe, in addition to that, I not only did I have experience, but then also I had a recommendation. So I'm coming in with a recommendation from somebody who's internal to the company, experience, and then also I did well in the interview to where they pretty much told me I got the job. They gave me the job offer.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I've validated my skills. I have everything that you would need for this particular role that I applied for.
Yeah.
But the company just didn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it be sometimes.
Yeah.
Walking away from it, that's sometimes the best thing that you can do, because you might get into that role and be stuck there, stuck at that salary range, stuck with that compensation package that you really didn't want in the first place. So that's when you start getting jaded, right? You start getting like, dang, I shouldn't even, this was trash anyway. Man, I shouldn't even accepted this. Yeah.
And their rationale for that too is that, we give unlimited PTO. We enjoy. They said we enjoy an unlimited PTO package, great health care, and a few other benefits. And I said, well, I already get all of that with my current employer, so I think I might stay where I'm at.
Right. Anything on that before we keep on going?
No, I think, like you said, BDB hit it on point is you got to make sure you're in a position where you got a job or you can walk away. Right, because there's leverage in there, and I always remember once you get in, that's your base salary. And a lot of times you're going to get your standard 2 or 3%. They might give you your 5 from your base, so that's where you're going to start from, and that's where you're going to end.
So that's standard yearly, right? 2 or 3% base increase. Say if you at 100,000, what 2%? You get 102,000, right?
Yeah.
Then next year 100, right?
Yeah. Then the other part is, and I don't know. Let me know if I'm jumping ahead. We can always wait. Is a lot of times when you're in a job, if you get certs or get degrees, your current job don't respect it. You don't get that bump until you leave.
Right.
So that's where there's some
yesterday's
job hopping.
Price is not today's price. It's
right.
Really
so Right. So a lot, which is weird to me. Your current employer pays for it, but they don't respect it. You got to leave to actually go get that 20-30% bump most of the time. You really. Probably 9 times out of 10, y'all can chime in on what y'all think is. You need to go to another firm to get that initial bump, get that like B2B, that initial title change, because most of the time your money comes with a title. So that's kind of what I've seen through my career. So I'm gonna throw it back to y'all.
Gay, can I also bring something up too?
Sure.
So I sent something to the Discord earlier today. And you had commented on it, I believe, and it was talking about the same lady who was telling people to lie on their resumes.
Man,
facts.
And when they say to do salary negotiations and to also change up your resume and stuff like that, you have to go into it with good faith as well.
Yeah,
because you can, as long as you do your research and you can see that, okay, well, this is what I can probably get. Like remember, so Gabe, you had gave me a document with the salaries at a particular company.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, I can kind of use this and be able to leverage my knowledge of what the salary is supposed to be.
That is important.
Not go too crazy high, too crazy low, because the company will either not respect you if you go too low.
Yeah.
But then if you go too high, they will straight up tell you that that's too much. I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
Me too.
Where I've spoken to a recruiter. I said, hey, I remember I told them, this is a few years ago, I told them I want $100,000, $102,000 salary.
Yeah.
They said, oh no, that's too low. I mean, that's too high.
So that means that you did find something out though. You found out the range.
I found out the range. Yes.
Yeah.
They said it was way too high, and then you just had to kind of figure out where to go when you're doing these negotiations.
Press them. I say press recruiters all the time. Yeah, I want to say thanks to a couple of people. Keep It Techie, thank you so much for. It's so funny because me and Keep It Techie, we keep passing back and forth this $10. I'm gonna up it next time. Next time he go live, but we keep passing $10 back and forth. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support of the channel. Thank you. You're the best. I really appreciate it. And Top Cyberdog said you got to lead to get paid. Facts, PBO. So let's keep on going with this. Unless you got something going there. I think Lewis occupied, but it's cool.
I'm here, bro. What did you say?
Before we kept going.
No, I'm good. I'm just go ahead. Y'all good?
Perfect. Another one here, it says to rehearse your negotiations. See script below. So they got a script for negotiations. That's cool. So we can get to that in a minute. Review the written offer carefully. Sometimes they even say to have maybe legal counsel, maybe even have some type of legal counsel review your job offer. It's not always necessary, but
I was about to say I haven't seen too many that's like it would probably be like if like a startup or something, and they got these different equity type things.
Yeah,
that's probably when you wanted something like that. But
I've done that before. I got a friend who's a CPA where it was the first time me getting equity as a part of my compensation. And I was asking him, what are some of the stipulations around this? What does this look like? And he was able to kind of break it down for me as much as he could for me to understand what my equity meant to my compensation. So that's as much as I went, but I haven't had legal though before.
Yeah, I had some guys reached out to me. They were, like you said, doing a startup, and they wanted me to have equity in some part of the bid. So it was kind of, they wrote up some stuff. So I did have my attorney read that. But most of the time, though, it's kind of like you said, it's pretty basic. I'm getting some RSUs. This is it. This is my bonus, right?
Right.
So that was the only time, like I said, I got some equity. I do, which I need to stop. Virtual CISOs for some young guys. They need some security advice. So, everybody wants to give you a piece of the company because they're going to be the next Facebook or Meta, right? So I got 2 or 3 of those, and I tell everybody I spent more time than any money I made. So, but it's all good. But I do have an attorney. Long story short, she actually used to do contracting for Computer Associates. So she was used to reading those. So
that might be super valuable. Yeah, what's up?
Let me add this too, is that when you say, so I'm looking at this, come up with a realistic salary range.
Yeah.
So I know that we were talking about how Indeed will allow for employers to be able to put their salary ranges for particular roles.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on my channel with Tam. And she said that somebody was making $750,000 a year.
Yep.
And my thing is that and it was like a huge range. It was like 200,000 all the way to 750,000, whatever it was. There's a lot of gray area in between there, so you can't really come up with a realistic salary range or a realistic salary from a range like that, because it's kind of useless, right? Because if a President, you saying something?
Oh, no, I'm gonna let you finish. I think you can, but go ahead and finish. I'm gonna chime in on the end. Go ahead and finish.
So and then I watched a CNBC video. CNBC talking about the CNBC Money or whatever the YouTube channel is. And they were discussing how this may be useless and it may just be pretty much a middle finger to the regulations that they have to abide by to put the salary ranges up on Indeed, because it may very well be that there could just be somebody who's making $750,000, right?
100%.
But
like also could, that's crazy.
It also could be that the people is like, oh, I want you to come up with how much you think you're worth, because how are you supposed to come up with how much they are billing this out to if the range is just this large?
Look at that.
How much value can you bring to a company to where you're an L4, right? And then you make pretty much almost $1 million a year, almost $300,000 shy.
Scroll down on that, Gabe. That's GRC. I thought it was gonna be straight engineering.
So I think these are are these? Yeah. Let's see.
It's GRC.
So it's the site reliability engineer role.
That's weird.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a security engineer role. Pardon me.
Okay. But still, that's more GRC. Kind of what I do. I was just shocked. I didn't expect it to say GRC.
So what's the job?
Sure.
Oh,
product detail. Almost $1 million.
I just need half of that. Go ahead, Lou. I just need half of that.
For one, how do you have $500,000 gap in range. But on that security engineer, could you go to this description? I'm just kind of curious. Like
me too.
It's very loose. Let me tell you. So, like
GRC,
PBO said, GRC. So, build. I'll zoom in.
I'm going to
bring engineering to GRC. We believe that this bet will improve our speed of trust and blah, 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 blah. Star team sponsors, blah, blah, blah. Team consists of GRC, enterprise continuity, assurance activity, blah, blah, blah.
That's what I do.
The qualifications.
So the qualifications, let's look at the quality. So you are excited about this opportunity because blank. Qualifications. To be successful in this role, we're looking for individuals that develop scripts, various scripting languages. So they Python or Go or something else. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Peer review code implementation. So this is like a security this is literally a security engineer role, right? Familiarity with RESTful API, familiarity with AWS infrastructure, can connect the dots around business value and control automation, testing, and effectiveness, operate within an environment. This is when these become very loose. Really, the top ones are these three. Because this is like participate in risk decision making and blah blah blah. That's random. Communicate with clarity. Yeah.
Even the first one when they was talking about the programming languages or scripting languages, my thing is that it needs to be kind of more defined. Which ones do you use at this for this particular role? Because you could say, "Oh, you use Python, Go, Java." It could be anything.
Yep.
Within these, what exactly do you do?
Scroll up a little bit. Keep going.
So it looks like
right there.
Yep.
You have knowledge of SOC, PCI, CCPA, GDPR. That's weird. That's all compliance. But then they want you to do a little engineering at the bottom. So that's kind of what threw me up. Because that's what I do now. I do PCI, CCPA, GDPR. So I know those inside and out.
So they also have some before the billion skills here, right? Impact visualization and BI tools like Tableau and more, right? So you have some data science. You need to be able to pull some metrics out and be able to visualize them, right? To some degree.
To keep performance indicators.
Right, something.
This seems like a catch-all type of role.
Exactly. I think they want you to present something that they can find value in.
Facts.
So this is almost like an empty check. This is a clear, like an empty check, right? And you have to provide the value that would push it up towards this number.
I only need 350, man. I
see what you're saying, Gabe. It's like, if you got the basis what they need, that's probably what you get 100. And then if you got more skills,
but at the same time, Lou, look at this. How long did they post this?
1 day ago.
And how many applicants?
Wow.
you know what that is, though. They already broke that down.
That's fake.
That's those. You know what's funny? I want to tell anybody who's listening. If you see that right there, that 922 applicants still apply because.
Facts.
Okay.
Because
what is that? That's just if I click this.
I would apply on the actual company website.
If I press apply,
B2B's right too. But what I was getting at, don't be deterred from that because they already broke it down. Like 90% of those are like foreign people trying to, like H1B.
Oh, okay.
Facts.
Second,
they think of like Netflix. Okay.
Yeah. Second, it's like a lot of scripts. A lot of people doing these auto apply type.
I wonder if somebody just clicked apply, then would that increase this number?
That too, and that too. When people just click that button, they just just clicking it, you're already registered as an applicant.
So it was 922, right? Let's see if it refreshed to 923.
It's a little too easy to apply.
No, it didn't increase automatically.
It's probably
press it.
It's probably no sequel, man. It's probably cash. It's in the queue, man. It probably take a little bit. It's in the queue, man.
It's on the way.
It's in the queue. I'm applied though.
Yeah.
I want about 350, man. And
to be honest, I would say too. I would just go to the company and then just try to find people in there and do like
I
don't know,
do like a direct LinkedIn mail type situation. Because you never know. You gotta.
I think AO agrees. Go directly to the company website, and Matt said 700 is cap. Yes, cap, top of the cap.
I agree with Matthew on this one.
Yeah,
100% because
cap.
So,
You calling it cap?
Yeah, I think it's cap for $700,000 for this role. Simply because when you start working in the tech industry for several years, you can try and figure out who actually makes this much money, and it's not that many.
Shit, I've been in the game for 30 years. My fault, BDB. I don't know nobody making that money. Go ahead. I've been in the game for 30 years. I don't know nobody making 700. I know CIOs, CEOs, CISOs. I don't know nobody making that. Go ahead. That I know personally.
Yeah, you can go on social media. You can find them real quick. Someone who's making an extra $1 million.
Nah, I'm with you. I'm calling cap on them now. That's what I'm calling cap. Go ahead. I'm calling cap on them. B2B, like you say, cap.
Well, so I don't know. They might not be so cap, because I'm looking here on Levels, my favorite website to find. This is one of the places where you can go to research, right? When you look at Netflix. Oh, is somebody else here? Oh, what's good? Welcome.
Hey.
We got a full house. Let's go.
Tech Bros.
Tech Adventure, bro. Yeah, Tech Avengers. We talking about how cap are these 100,000 to 700,000 job roles. Now, this was it specifically said a L4 security engineer. It was really like a software engineer, similar, somewhat. No.
I would call it a privacy engineer.
Okay, let me go.
When you start talking about CCPA, GDPR, those are compliances, right? That's not a pure engineer.
But it says security engineer.
That's what my title is. But what I do as an engineer is when you build it, B2B, I go do the insurance to make sure it's okay. So I have engineering skills, but I don't never build it. I just check what you build to make sure it's CCPA, GDPR, or one of those compliances. So that's kind of what threw me out, because it said GRC. It didn't say software engineer or anything. Go ahead.
Typically, if you're looking at a software engineer role versus a security engineer role, the software engineer role will be higher, right? Typically, they have higher salaries than in security. So we see an L4, right? This is for Netflix, right? Netflix. We see an L4 software engineer. On average, they make $331.
Because remember, Gabe, we talked about that. Yeah. Netflix is always cash heavy. They don't really do the equity as much as other.
They don't do it. Look at it, right? Stock.
Wow.
2K, 4K, bonus.
Shout out to
almost nothing. These are for people who just come out of college. They like, here, let me give you a little bump. They front load.
That's interesting how you can make that much out of college. I'm sorry, keep taking. You can go ahead.
No, you good. No, I was just gonna add. Yeah, I think that job listing also is like a catch-all. It's just to get as many people to apply to it as possible, and then the range is all based on what you sell. You know what I'm saying? As far as selling yourself, as far as your skills that you already have and all that. So that's why the range gap is so high. And so it's really not stopping anyone with lower skills from applying to it. Yep. You're just not going to get that 700K, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's good about it? Well, I wouldn't say good, but they technically are in that range. They said 100,000 to 700,000 for an L4, software security engineer, and it looks like it's somewhere within that range.
Yeah, and don't those levels go up? No, I'm saying don't those levels go up depending on? So that would include a L5, a L6, a L7. Maybe they'll bring you. They just put L3 or L4 in the job listing, but once they see your skills and what you're bringing to the table, they'll probably start you at a higher level than that L3, L4. So it's like a catch-all.
That's true, because they say it's really this is where the level is, but based upon the way that you interview, then you can bump up a level. So yeah, I agree.
Can I add something else too? Yeah, specifically about Netflix. I've always heard that Netflix hires senior engineers. So maybe L3 in itself is like they don't hire just people straight out of college. They usually hire somebody who's senior.
You know what? That's a good point, B2B, because also a lot of times too, people get what they call D-leveled. So let's say you come from Google, and does Google use L? I'm not sure if they use L.
They do.
Yeah. it's like Meta. They use some. I think they use T. I don't know. But if you come in from Google as an L5, you could go to Netflix and be D-leveled, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like I was D-level.
This is here for entry-level folk, right? It's a good amount of them, it looks like. So since August 2023.
They are Harvard, Stanford, and MIT too.
Harvard, Stanford, MIT. Boom. I was just about to say that.
They the big dogs.
In a certain place.
Or people where I went.
Might come in with some experience here, right? Some of these people got 2 years of experience. A lot of these people don't have any. So
but see,
with experience, you ain't gonna get in. Go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of them, a lot of them come in through the internships too, though.
Facts.
Boom. That's another one.
How they get a big pool. Like a lot of times, what they say, the only way to really get into fame is like for the highest success rate, right? Is to come through an internship, or be like 2 year, 3 year level experience, and then you come in that way.
Yeah,
100%.
Another thing I noticed is that so when you have like when I used to work at Home Depot, and specifically with Home Depot, they do not hire people. I can't say for 100%.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of the people, they do not hire straight on as a full-time employee. They will go either internship or through a contract to hire role, and then you get hired on directly. So that could also be another way that these people are getting in as well, maybe going as contractors, getting paid well, and then moving on to full-time by getting, those benefits added on as well. Mm-hmm. So, and then that used to be one of those things that would make people upset about the contract to hire versus the full-time employee, is because they pretty much have to legally treat you differently when you are a contractor versus a full-time employee, because people used to sue because they did not get the same benefits, but they were treated the same. So now if you're a contractor, you won't be able to get the invitation to the parties. You won't get the same benefits. You won't get a lot of other things that you would get as a full-time employee.
Like you said, they got sued, so they had to make an adjustment, right? It's always 2 or 3% of mess it up for everybody else, right? They got mad, so they sued. So now they're like, our legal said you can't come to the party, you can't do this, because I had that happen to me. I never went to the party anyway, but yeah, they want to have a clean delineation of that, so you can't come back and sue. So
yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Matthew makes a good point as well. He goes to he says you're going to need $200K to survive in California.
At least. San Fran. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. But Dev Lou, man, if I was young with no kids like B2B, I'd be in a 1 bedroom with 4 dudes. I promise you I would. Shit.
That's what a lot of them do.
I promise you. Facts, man. I've been there with 4 dudes for about 3 or 4 years, and I'm out. Shit.
And don't some of those organizations offer like housing?
They starting to. Google's starting to offer on-campus housing.
Yeah,
they live at Google.
Meta even has their own public transportation. It's not public, but
no, it is. They start rocking that shit. You right?
They'll pick you up from a
and the poor people start hitting that shit with bricks, man, because it was.
All you gotta do is show your thing, your badge.
You can't get any more elitist than that, man. I'm on public transportation with the dude pulling out his wee. You pull up in a mega bus, looking how comfortable with air conditioning and with laptops. So the poor people start bricking their bus, man. Shout out to the poor people, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Google it. It was on CNBC.
Let me hit some of these comments really quick. Operational take over. Welcome to the chase. Says, man, it's crazy. I'm on alive with the real Tech Avengers. I like that. BD says, I've been a lawyer at big tech corporations. They get paid very well, even right out of undergrad. That's dope.
Real quick. I work with a lot of lawyers. That's the hit. I do contracts a lot in my job now, so I work with the legal team. And we be like 25 lawyers deep, so I know big tech be crazy.
That's what's up. CD goes even further to say big tech overpays. They try to minimize turnover. Netflix also pays well above market and publicizes their compensation in-house. So in-house, I guess you have more visibility at what those salary structures are. Matt says it is true. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to say this real quick. Another thing too, the reason why like these FANG software engineers get paid a lot is because in FANG, a software engineer, you're actually revenue, right? Versus like software engineers in other fields could be expense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Maintaining applications versus producing products that go to market.
Exactly. Yep.
Because that's what a lot of software engineers do within like utility organizations, healthcare. They're primarily maintaining applications, maybe update the code base here and there. It's not a whole bunch, right, involved in that in the revenue cycle of that organization. It's more maintaining the assets, digital assets that they already have. So I can see that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I want to hit a couple more of these because it says you're going to need at least 2. Okay, we already read that one. Until it says leave in South Central and save money. Leave to South Central. Oh, sorry. You said live in South Central and save money. I'm with you. I'm with you. Justin Williams, Whirlpool offered me housing for an internship. So boom, right? Even some of these large, big organizations, they even offer housing for internships.
You know what?
Wilding. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember I was at an Airbnb in San Jose, and they were telling, and the host was telling me like they had 3 rooms for the summer for interns.
Oh wow, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, and Gabe, you wouldn't want to live in South Central.
Oh, I don't know. Listen,
you might not keep your money.
Y'all the West Coast people. Y'all the West Coast people. Tell me about it.
You might not keep your money.
So you live in South Central and you making that $200K and you walking away with your life. Is what I'm hearing.
That's facts, man. Facts.
That's what you walking away with, barely. Lowcast, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Lowcast, thank you so much. It says someone else's donation goes to you. Lowcast is petty. I feel you. Lowcast goes too from time to time. So Lowcast, feel free if you want. You can drop your channel in there. Let us know next time that you're going live because he kind of talks about some tech concepts, but even type of like tech adjacent things, like kind of like mental. So I think we were talking about like what were we talking about, art and tech or something on your channel one time, Lowcast. So yeah, feel free to drop that if you want. And one more comment here before we keep going. It says here in Kentucky, a lot of the Indian community share a 2-bedroom apartment with like 8 others in one joint, stacking money together. It's very similar here in the Midwest, especially in Detroit, because we got our factories, right? We got Ford, Chrysler. Is it Chrysler still or Stellantis? Ford, Stellantis, and GM or Ford? Anyway, automotive. We bring a lot. We have a lot of Indian and East Asian folk that come over here, and a lot of times they do stay together in order to, save money and stack. So, 100% there. I want to vote? Do you all want to have a cam down session, or do you all care to cam up, or which one? We can cam down if y'all want.
It doesn't matter.
Listen, but my lighting is terrible. That's why I'm not camming.
No, it's all good. Because we kind of not even focusing on the pictures. And half the time I bring stuff up and it's covering up Keep It Techies everything.
Nah, I'll be having people walking. Just want to make sure nobody walk in.
So I feel you. I just want to make sure that it's comfortable for the panelists because you all are definitely making the show. So just let me know. And there's no problem if you want to cam down either. So just wanted to say that. Okay. So we talk about negotiations. I think I'm able to skip my 8 o'clock. So if y'all want, we can go longer.
I got one complaint.
Go ahead.
I wish I had hair like B2B again, man. That's the only thing.
B2B got the
man. I'm bald, man. B2B looking nice with the glasses.
B2B got the 93, 95.
Yeah, man, looking like a young Keith Sweat. Go ahead, my bad. I just want to throw that out there, man.
So we were talking about these salary negotiations. Let's jump back into it because another thing that we were talking about here to the prep checklist is come prepared with the realistic salary range and explore alternatives. One thing I wanted to say about this before we went over to some of the other parts, it's excuse me, is that we do want to talk to each other, right? Talking to other people that you trust within the industry is extremely important to your research and to understanding what are realistic salary expectations. So, everybody has a different philosophy about sharing their salaries, different ideas. I typically tend to share them amongst like in small numbers, right? Rather than large numbers, because you never know what psychologically, your salary can do to somebody. They can maybe feel like, they're underpaid, or that you're overpaid, or that they might give you a crazy number, right? They might be like, yeah, man, I'm just making this little 500K or whatever, and then it make you think, right? It could do something like little. If I told you what I made, you would really think something is little here as it concerns my salary. So, it can be kind of difficult. So, typically my philosophy is I share it with typically trusted parties in small numbers, and typically peers too, right? So that we're both able to, I guess, benefit from the salary information. But what do you all think about that?
No, I let me just go right fast. But I agree. You should, only share that with trusted parties or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's why on the contracting side, I was going to bring this up. One of the things within the contract, they tell you to not share your salary, your compensation. Otherwise, you can get in trouble for it. You can get fired, all that stuff. And so you only want to do it with trusted people, so you won't get in trouble, for one.
Yeah.
And then also it can create animosity and different feelings in the workplace or whatever, because you getting paid to do the same job a little bit more because you took the time. And I know this is one of the things you're going to cover a little later with the do's and don'ts, but you took the time and negotiated your salary. And so they may have some feelings about the pay difference.
Yeah. Where I really started to feel that is with family. When I got my first big 6-figure offer, when I was going contract, I tell them my grandma, uncles, aunts, and then it's been downhill ever since. I don't talk nothing about money with my family because of certain feelings about compensation, about what I make in comparison to because I was born and raised, grew up in Detroit. A lot of my family did not come from opportunities or take on opportunities that would afford them certain salaries. So, they feel like, I'm the privileged one. I'm the spoiled one. I'm the this and that type of person. So,
they think that stuff was handed to you.
They think. They think. Yeah. They think. So, anything else on that? Like what are you all's philosophies about that, or what do you all think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad. I remember I told my dad my salary, and he was very, he was very proud. He was, but that's what I like to say sometimes. Yeah. In this type of set, because I'm on the West Coast, right? So my 90,000, whatever, 100,000, it's not like what I'm saying. It's like 100,000 in Houston, Texas. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, as like the scales of cost of living and stuff like that. So sometimes I'm like, and then them taxes, you know what I mean? So that's why I really don't even get to talking about it, because sometimes it's just a number. It's really about more what you keep. But no, but you were saying though, Gabe. Yeah, I mean, I had a cousin. He was, he does trucking. I remember he was like when I was just kind of studying and stuff. Like years, he was like, "Man, we gonna get on this truck, man. When you gonna stop playing? Playing the computers until like you get on this truck." And I was like, "Man, I'm trying to get on this. I'm not, I'm trying to work on what I got going on, dog."
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Keep Taking was right too. I think in some, like, there's two power system analysts. They get paid more than me, but the difference is they can't work remote either. Not saying I'm saying like you should take a less salary to work remote, but I'm saying though sometimes you have to outweigh certain. You get what I'm saying? And because me personally, I don't think you should get paid less at all. It just ended up happening like that because anyway, what they and the things they deal with is a little bit more into like very, very security intensive and stuff like that. So they have a lot of responsibility.
Right. But, so doing that from home, I mean,
they can't do it from home.
It increases some of the security risk for the organization.
Yeah, it's impossible. They can't do it from home. They got to go to work Monday through Friday. But
that makes sense. That makes sense. I was also here. Let me hit a couple of these comments. It says here in Kentucky, a lot of the Indian. Oh,
you already
talked about that one. Operation said, I just want to say thank you to PBO for putting me on the rest of the Avengers on this live. Each one of you brothers are inspirational in different ways. Thank you for the knowledge, sirs. And that was another thing that I want to bring up is that at times right? It can be thought of as a flex if you share what your salary is, but at other times it can be inspirational to others. Individuals can be like, this is what I can aspire to, and this is where I can go. So, it can be, so I at times will share past job offers rather than where I'm currently at in order to say, hey, this is where you can be, and this is what I was able to negotiate and obtain previously, right? Because it doesn't, something about that time in between now and before, it's a little bit more comfortable to share before than where you currently at. So,
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, B2B.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring up something real quick. When I was growing up, I always was told never to share my salary. And now that I'm older, I'm seeing a lot more people being more transparent. So whenever you see salary transparency on Instagram or whatever social media platform that they're on, you see a lot of people go on there and they just straight up are outwardly telling their salary. But one thing I will say is that some people do cap. Some people do go on there and they do lie about, and some people have been caught and lied about their salary, even pretended to be other people. Like somebody was pretending to be one of the founders of Snapchat or one of the early investors in Snapchat. He was actually found out to be lying about that.
Wow.
It was a big story. And everybody was talking about within like hours they found out who he was and how he pretended to be a football player.
That guy who was like, he kind of was dressed bummy and they actually questioned him.
In the Rick and Morty shirt.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's just one example, but then you also have other examples where when you said people flex how much they make.
Right.
I have a few examples, but I watched this one video earlier today. Guy who's from like the Dave Ramsey camp, Dave Ramsey, and how he has multiple different podcasts underneath him. How they were talking about how they make they have $1 million net worth. And I was trying to look at it like, okay, well, I know a lot of people who are in the tech industry. It's possible to be able to make $1 million after, investments, saving, living beneath your means, stuff like that. But we need to kind of get into the numbers as to how we can actually achieve something like this.
Yeah. $1 million?
Let's say $1 million. So the title of the video is called $1 million by 32 years old. And,
damn, I'm late. Go ahead, P2P. I'm late.
Right. So that video is talking about he made $1 million by 32 because he got married and he owns a house and a few other things. He has income, but his income was based off of somebody with a communications degree. So I'm thinking, okay, well, a return on investment that we get from a computer science degree or an engineering degree or something like that should be higher than, communications. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, when people give up their salaries, how do you get to something like that? How do you get to $100,000 a year? How do you get to making $1 million? How do you be able to save that much money? And these are some things that we don't really talk about, especially in our community. Is how to be able to get there, even though we make good money with our degrees, make good money with our roles. How do we be able to achieve success financially?
Play basketball, rap.
I think I think Gabe's in there, and we buffed to that. I think a lot of people invest in real estate, stocks, 401ks, right, that should appreciate to get that, right? Because theoretically, like you said, if you're making 100, 150, 200, right, theoretically, you should have some free cash flow to make investments, right, that you would hope to appreciate. So what are those investments? How you do it? What's the safest way to do it? I don't want to listen to DJ Envy and lose my money, right? So
yes.
What's the best way? I'm gonna throw it back to you, B2B. Let me know when you're done, and I want to add the old people talking about money. Go ahead.
So even when you bring that up, Professor Blackoff, so when you're talking about investing in real estate, even if you have a very high paying job, even if you have like $100,000 paying salary with a tech job. So let's say you have this, and then you invest in your real estate. You invest in your personal home, and then you are able to get enough money to be able to get a rental property. Can you really use that as your net worth? If you have, some people may use the total value. So you know what I'm saying. So some people,
it's part of your net worth. If it can turn into liquid, I mean, of course, it's not overnight, but that's all a part of your net worth. Yeah.
But, go ahead, B2B. Go ahead, B2B.
Yes, I was going to say. So let's say some people use the total value of a home, and then put that into their net worth. But then they are excluding the fact that they have an outstanding balance for their mortgage.
So when I talk about mine, like you said, what I tell people, I control this. That's the total value. But my net worth minus, like you said, my bank loans or my hard money loans is X, right? So, and that's when you know people are not capping, right? So if they tell you, okay, I control X, right? That means I got $10 million. But if I got $7 million worth of loans on it, right, it's really only worth $3 million, right? But every year I pay it down. Hopefully it appreciates, right? So every year I make money. But you're right, there is, like you said, what is your total net worth? And that's what you need to ask people. What's your total net worth?
Which is assets minus liabilities. So
100%.
So financial obligations, debt, all of that.
Those are your liabilities,
Exactly. And then I think Lou brought this up earlier when he was talking about how much money do you actually keep?
Is B2B Morgan for y'all, or is it me?
No, I think it might be you.
It's you. He's clear to me.
Okay.
Okay. I got the AT&T super deal, you know.
But yeah, so and I think that's important too, because we talking about salary negotiate. We talk about salary negotiations, but then let's say you may be able to make a few $1,000s more after you negotiate your salary, but you also have to have good financial financial responsibilities, good financial practices in order to be able to utilize this. You could very much well be working a 9-to-5 job and or more, and then you can't really enjoy the money that you're getting paid because you may have a lot of financial obligations, or you have a lot of you have a low work-life balance. So that's a lot of different things, especially when especially when you're working in now. I've never worked in. Well, I have worked in security, but so Professor Blackhouse, you might be able to answer this kind of question.
Oh, I can.
So, on the security side, how is the work-life balance if you are, not in a work from home type of position, or you have to go into the office?
Work-life balance from security, and security is a big domain, and I'm sure Gabe's gonna chime in for the red team because he'd be jumping on airplanes. I don't jump on airplanes, but for me, it's a lot better because security. I don't have anything in production, right? So if production down, security's like, hey, don't be shutting down no firewalls while you work on that, right? So, and I was a DBA and a developer, so I used to be in production. That's one reason I switched to security. So but Gabe will tell you when there's a hack, man, you can work 36 hours straight trying to figure out what's going on. But I think overall, the work-life balance is much better. Like I'm not even as a security engineer, once again, you build it or DevLou builds it. I just review it from a compliance standpoint. So for me, the work-life balance is huge. And once again, I used to be like, keep it techie DBA. If the damn production goes down, you got to be up and you got to help the developers. At the time, the developers are blaming the damn DBAs. You got to figure out what's going on, man. So for me, once again, security, I thought, which I need to check with Gabe, in the Midwest and for old technology, security makes more than developers in software unless they're in management. So that's kind of what I see in Indiana being in the Midwest. Gabe said it was the other one. I understand if you work for Fang Tech. So there probably was a couple developers made more money than me.
Yeah.
But no, work-life balance is much better. I'm going to throw it to Gabe and what he thinks is because he does the red team balance on that. I think it's better.
I don't know if I caught the question exactly, but yeah, go ahead.
And then also, Gabe, because you're a consultant too, so it may be a little bit more different for you as far as work-life balance?
Yeah,
working in the security side.
I think security's better, Gabe, from a work-life balance. When I was a DBM developer, I just felt if anything twitched in production, we was there. Security, I'm kind of like, hey, let me know, man. If you don't see no weird shits in the logs, I ain't doing jack. Go ahead. What's your thoughts on that, Gabe?
I don't know which question to add or answer or
work-life balance for security.
It's a lot of subjects.
You think it's work-life balance for security? You think it's better than, I guess, dev engineers? What's your thoughts on that? I think
it depends, right? It just depends on the organization that you work for, the sector of security that you're in. So it can vary very broadly. So I don't really know how to answer one way or the other, because it can, and even in consulting, even if you're in a particular role, it can be up seasons and down seasons. So, there can be, it varies even within your same role. But yeah, go ahead.
Hey, what's the difference between consulting and like staffing companies?
So staffing companies are like, they are employed to bring you into an organization on a contract, or typically like a contract role, which means that it's like a defined period of time that they bring you in for that role. They could bring you in for a permanent role as well, too.
Staff augmentation. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I do the staff augmentation a lot.
But then with consulting, you work for a consulting firm, and they are the home base. So like me, I work for a consulting firm. I'm home base. I get the benefits, the 401k, the salary, all that stuff. Facts. And then they staff me out to business that they win.
Facts.
If that makes sense. Yeah. So with a staffing organization, they can bring you into multiple organizations and multiple roles, where with a consulting firm, you work for that firm and they kind of trick you out to the world.
Facts. That's what I used to call it. You guys are you're gonna make more if you got UQ and you got some new skills. You're gonna make a little more money. No, 100%. Because I did the staff aug thing. So basically, I was just really a state employee. I go to the state. I go eat lunch with them. I've never went to the because I work for a small consultant. It was a body shop. They found a contract. So really, I was a state employee. The crazy thing is I made more than the CISO. Mm-hmm. So because I had go ahead, Dad.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, really quickly. No. I do want to give a little bit of room for Keep It Techie. Hasn't chimed in a while. Did you have anything that we were talking about that you want to chime in on?
Oh, no, you good. Go, Lou. I was just gonna add. Well, might as well. Let me just add. With the consulting versus the contracting, right? That's the question, Lou.
I think so.
Yeah, the staffing. Yeah, those staffing agencies. One of those things they do is when they bring you on, they'll take a percentage of your pay as well. So that's one difference versus you getting paid as a consultant from the actual organization. You get paid directly from the consulting firm, and they just like what Gabe said, they pimp you out, the other organizations.
Pimp you out everywhere.
Yeah, but those staffings. Go ahead. That's it.
No, go ahead. You said the staffing agencies.
No, I was just gonna say, they in those staffing agencies, they're hired by the organization, and then they also take a cut of your pay. Essentially, straight off the
clan,
top.
The clan. Call it the clan.
Exactly.
It's not the clan necessarily. Like I don't think we call it that. I think that's mainly like in
government. No, in the DOD.
Okay.
Because Keep It Tech at DOD, the consulting company I work for, the government gives you a clan item. I think mine was $112.
Sure.
Back then, I was making $75 an hour. I got 75% of it, which were a little bit out, a little bit less than that. Than like you said, and then like Keep It Techie said, the other, it's not where it is you're on site and really you working for the government. I never went to the consulting company. I never visited. My money got direct deposit and I went to the client.
Yeah. Let me answer this really quickly. With consultants, if you're working for a firm, you're typically a W-2 employee.
I need a piece of that. I need a piece of that. I was 1099 and I didn't do my taxes right. I shit you not, I owe the government $50,000 one year.
Yeah. It can be like that.
You gotta be real careful with that 1099 that you understand, because you think your company's taking your money for those, but they're paying part of your taxes.
Yeah.
So if they paying 15%, you paying 50%. When you got to pay the whole 30%, even if you making $80 an hour, 30% of 80, you got to pay the government like $20 an hour. What you making? A lot of people don't realize that, man. Go ahead.
I will say this about also about Lou's question, typically between those staffing firms or those consulting, staffing firms, consulting firms, if you're brought in as like a 1099 employee or a contractor, the hours that you don't work, you don't get paid for.
Facts.
But as a consultant, even if I don't work on a particular project, I'm still getting paid my same salary. And it's called being on the bench, right? That's waiting for an opportunity that they want to staff you on. You're waiting for it, but you still get your same salary every 2 weeks.
I did a video. Go
Mm-hmm.
check it out. I did hanging out on a bench with PBO. I did a video on that. Go ahead.
And that's why when you're a contractor like that, they're real heavy on you documenting everything you do.
Everything. Yep.
So they can charge it. And then you got billing codes based on what project you're actually working on. And you have to build time to that. So they track that stuff like it's in depth. You know what I'm saying?
And the other thing I think Gabe needs to chime on that he forgot is those big companies have deep connections. So when Booz Allen, all those big companies come in, they got generals walking around to get those type of contracts to make sure they can get those bill rates. Those are not your average companies. You and 3 of your homies not gonna run up and get no DoD contract. That's not gonna happen, man.
No. So a lot of go ahead. I was gonna say, like, a lot of my managers and senior managers, they have relationships with CISOs for organizations.
Facts.
Like I was in a meeting just last week. One of the managing directors was asking us about a particular contract or some of the work that we were doing for a customer. And we were kind of wondering, like, why are you asking us so many questions about this? Like, do we have an opportunity coming up? He's like, oh, no, I'm having lunch with the CISO for that organization coming up next week. And I wanted to, see if there were any questions or any additional business that we can win based upon some of the work that you're already doing. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, ask away. Because we could win some more here. So, so like you were mentioning, those connections, that black book of people who sign paychecks and put in and throw out a lot of money into the world. A lot of those large consulting firms, they have relationships with those individuals. So
and just I add a little bit more, Lou, as well onto what Gabe just said. That's why a lot of these big contracting companies like Booz Allen Hamilton and all of them, they hire prior service people, and I'm just speaking on that DoD side. And so a lot of times they hire high rank individuals on the top levels of these organizations because they know that they have the contacts for the people that sign those contracts or approve those contracts through the government. 100%. And so a lot of those high level officers, or so to speak, they trained a lot of those guys coming behind them that's taking over those positions up there once they retire. And so they have a relationship with them, a working relationship with them to say, hey, and I know it's not legal, you know what I'm saying? Because you swing a government contract a certain way to an organization, but it does happen.
Go deeper. I worked at DoD. These guys were in the service together. It was deeper than that. We're in a high power meeting. The dude just walks in and sits down. I'm like, who the hell that dude? He's taking notes of what we talking about. Them dudes serve together. I work with guys so they can go in any meeting. They're gonna walk in people's office and they're gonna tell them what's going on. Now that don't mean they're gonna win it, but if you know what's going on, you have to battle. Like Gabe said, we got Oracle people. You need some SAP people. We got B2B. You need a couple pipeline engineers, man. We got them on deck for you. What you need?
Be like that, yeah. I did want to get to his question here. Operation Tech Takeover. He was saying, with making a transition to a new field, how do you justify negotiating a high salary or sign-on bonus? I don't feel like I have the right to ask for more without being in the field previously. No, you do. You definitely do. And I think that's a good transition to the items to negotiate. You have a lot of variability. So these are your weapons, your compensation weapons. So cash. I don't know what they mean by variable. They might mean I'm not sure but exactly what they mean by variable. Sign-on bonus is the one that you just mentioned. Stipends, like work from home, like Lou was mentioning before. Education or certification renewal, or paying for certifications, or other type of incentives. Like I know a big incentive that I had was paternity leave, so I get 3 months off for 2 months off for paternity leave. No, So if I have a kid, for every single child that I have, no matter what year or anything, I get 2 months paid time off for my organization. And I find that as a very big benefit, right? You get 2 months off to get paid in order to take care of your child. So that's like one of these things that's
me and my wife would have had 10 kids if I was working out.
Listen. And I'm saying that's at some time, but other organizations like Google, I think they get 5 months off, right? Big tech organizations and in other countries, right? Especially like Europe and some of the other countries, they get almost a year. And these are fathers, right? Even if you're the woman, you get even more time off. If you're the lady, you get even more. The relocation reimbursement, I don't feel like that's a plus, because you're literally moving for that organization. So they better pay for you. And then equity. So speaking about a sign-on bonus, sign-on bonuses can be attached to a couple of different things. So it can be attached to, say, for instance, funds that you might be missing out on if you leave your current organization. So say, for instance, there's a review cycle where you have a bonus that is coming. You can utilize that to negotiate a sign-on bonus from a new organization to say, hey, this is what I'm expecting, and this is a bit of salary that I'll be missing out on if I left my organization. I want to negotiate that into a sign-on bonus, right? So that's another thing so those are some things. You can also, I'm trying to see what else you can use for sign-on bonuses. If you had so typically when you have a sign-on bonus, it's associated with a certain period of time that you have to stay with that organization. So I had a pretty large sign-on bonus, and I had a 2-year commitment to my current organization as a result of getting that sign-on bonus. So say, for instance, I left before that 2-year commitment, I have to pay I got to pay a certain percentage of that sign-on bonus back. So I can negotiate with the new organization to say, hey, I'm in a sign-on bonus cycle, and I can't leave without repaying something. If you all really want me, I need this amount in the sign-on bonus in order for me not to lose out, but also have a benefit there. So those are just a couple of examples of things that you can utilize in order to negotiate a sign-on bonus. Or you can see what that organization typically offers. You can talk to people that work there, type on people on LinkedIn, people who are newer to the org, and see if they offer a sign-on bonus. And there's nothing wrong with asking all of these things here. Like, what additional things do you all offer? So anything that you all want to chime in there?
I could just say one thing. All that stuff is true that Gabe is saying. And I'm testament to it. Like, what was this, 2017, 2018? First time I talked to Gabe, I was trying to negotiate a contract for my current position that I'm actually working for. And he brought a lot of this information up that I didn't even think of. And it's true. You should ask for it. And you actually helped me get some stuff that I wasn't thinking about at the time, like as far as education and a sign-on bonus. So I haven't really talked about it, but yeah, you did help me, with that. So
that's what's up, man. Dope. Anybody else?
I've never got a sign-on bonus, so I think it's more of a newer thing. So unlike my last 3 jobs, I worked on each one. I'm probably like 8 years apiece, so it's not like I've done a lot of negotiation for me, like I said. And just I'm gonna just take a quick step back a little bit. And I think, like you said, older people, that's really a new thing, talking about salaries and money. Talking about 700,000, man. I thought I was killing the game when I got to 100. Now I feel poor, man, messing around with you, Black Heights, and Tam, man. I feel like I'm poor, man. So I think, which is good though. I'm trying to learn new tricks. So I think as an older person, like you said, what can you negotiate? What's out there? How can you communicate? Because like Dev Lou said, man, I'm from the thing, man. If you talked about your salary, you was gonna automatically get fired, man. I still feel that way sometimes. My family checking it out, listening to Before the Billions and the young guys, they be talking about salaries. As an old guy, I still be like, I'd be like B2B's dad. You gonna get fired, son. Start talking like a slave. And you gonna get fired. Don't do it, B2B. Don't do it. So I don't know. That's some of my things. Throw it back to you, man.
But I think also kind of B2B, kind of some of the stuff that he was saying that they were bringing in a salary that was below what he was expecting, that they previously had talked about. Sometimes you can even ask for a sign-on bonus as a way in order to bridge some of that base salary gap, right? I know that one time I was brought in, I wanted, and this ain't no stunt. This is maybe 2018, 2017 or so. I wanted a 150K base salary. They were saying that they couldn't do that. So they gave I got one. I don't know why it was so difficult to get there, but they gave me 147.50, 147,050, and then I said, and they gave me a 5K sign-on bonus just to put me over that 150 with a little bit more. And they said by the next time there's the review cycle, right, you will most likely be at that 150K or more in a base salary. It was ticky-tacky, right? And I think it has something to do with the level that I was coming in at. I think they would have to put me at a lower range for because that was a security architect role. They would have to put me at a senior security architect. That's where you get into the 150. I don't know. It was just weird. But hey, if you're dissatisfied with some of that base salary, you might be able to negotiate a sign-on bonus that will bring you closer to where you desire to be. So that's another condition that might help there. Anything else y'all want to add before we keep going?
You think signing bump? Go ahead, B2B. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was about to bring up something else. And I kind of wanted to read an excerpt from a video, if that was okay.
How long is it?
It's not long.
All right, go ahead.
But the gist of it, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, see if you believe it or not. See if it's realistic. But essentially, right, so the guy, he went from not being in the tech, and then he ended up getting a tech position making around $90,000 to $100,000.
Okay, so from 0 to 90 to 100,000. Okay.
Right. So 90 to 100,000, and then what they did was they worked at the company for like 6 months. Then after that, they got blown up by a whole bunch of different tech companies trying to get them a job. Then they said, somebody came up to them and said, hey, we really want you, and this is an opportunity for you. They said, okay, well, hey, look, I want $135,000. This is after 6 months of being in the tech industry, from having no experience to just having 6 months experience, then getting an offer for 135. Later on, they say this specifically. Hey guys, I know this is quite unprofessional. I know I asked for 135,000 to start at this company.
Okay.
But I would really prefer if I can get $145,000.
Okay.
So an extra extra $10,000.
Sure.
More for this company. Do you guys believe that that's possible for somebody starting off with only 6 months experience, getting into the tech industry?
What was his skill set before?
I was about to ask. Yeah.
Now, if you got, if you go ahead, what was his skill set before? What did he did before? If you got some specific domain knowledge that's off the chart, not likely but probable. So if you was like shout out to engineering cannabis, if you're a quant and you bring in quant skills and you become a programmer and you can talk about coming up with some calculation to make us a gazillion dollars because you're a statistical PhD. I've seen that at Lilly, but I mean. And I think Gabby, what was his business domain?
What was his previous? Yeah.
Right. So what he was
zero experience.
He said that he was a Lyft driver, and then he says to the company, he says, "Yo," he says quite literally, this is the.
He said, "Yeah, he won 10,000 more, right?"
Yeah, he says, "Yo, this is unprofessional, but I got to keep it real." I said,
okay.
Actually,
well, my question is like, what is his role in this organization?
Fine.
So the role he got into was tech sales.
Probably like he probably has some OTP. What is it? On OTEs or something that he might have overshot or went beyond his sales numbers or something, and that might have prompted him to ask for more. Who knows? I don't know. But those tech sales engineers, they do have a large variability of salaries. Right. Was he asking for base salary? So he was asking for 145 base salary after six months.
Yes.
Did he have
probably
a special?
Did some, well,
Did he have a special contact? My fault, Gabe. Did he have a contact with a certain company he can get into? I could see if it was that.
I mean, that was said in the video.
I think maybe I don't know. I think it might be some cap in there. But I think that at the same time there might be some other metrics that he was able to accomplish or show his value with the organization in that 6-month period. That did he get it? Did he get that 10K or he just asked for it?
Yeah. That's what he says.
Maybe.
So
maybe.
So my thing, the reason why I bring this up and why I ask is because now that I've been, we're in the tech industry, so we see how much we make, and then also how much our peers make, and then our leadership makes, stuff like that. You can kind of see like the numbers around it, and it goes back to that salary transparency point that I made before, and that we don't really know how exactly. Like, we can always just say it's possible, just like how somebody could quite literally make $700,000 at Netflix. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But where is the numbers coming from, and why exactly is it that high for that particular role?
A lot of people want to stump more than really give visibility into the breakdown of the compensation.
Facts.
They don't really give a lot of information.
And I think me and Gabe always chop it up and I'm a numbers guy. Are you talking about outliers or the base? When I talk about salaries, I'm talking about what does the average person for that job make in the 80% range. When you talking about 7,000, you're talking about 5 deviations from the mean. Them dudes are so rare, I don't even count them. But for me, I mean, so I know, shout out to the other people. They love talking about those guys. Those guys are so rare. I don't. For me, I don't talk about them. I know people get excited about them. I think it's great YouTube videos. And you talk about black men, black men making 700. Man, you got to be shooting a damn basketball.
Yeah.
But
Lou and Keep It Techy, y'all got something to throw in there? Yeah, go ahead. Well,
I just wanted to add a little bit right fast as well. Like as far as the question you brought up B2B, that's not a bad time frame. I mean, you've been at the company or the organization for 6 months or so. It shouldn't be a problem with you going in and seeing if you can obtain a higher salary, especially since you prove yourself. Certain organizations, they'll even bring people on and give them a 6-month probation. And then that will justify them paying you a higher salary at that point because you prove that you can do the job and that you're proficient in what they require for that position. Like I was hired on, I think it was like $5,000 less than probably the position. But anyway, they gave me a $5,000 bump after a probationary period where I actually proved that I could figure out this, and they gave me goals and things to accomplish during that time period. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's probably what he did within that 6-month time period, documented everything he did and everything he brought to the organization to see if they would, or to justify the reason for him actually coming in and asking for a higher rate. And I think he said something in here in this checklist, you did research or what was it? Basically documenting what you've done. I thought I seen that, but never mind. But anyway, documenting and bringing that up to justify the pay increase.
Yeah, but Keep It Tech, you a seasoned veteran, man. This guy just got an industry, man. He just got his toe in the water, man.
I'm telling you, PBO, it's different, man. A lot of times now, it's like people are skipping a lot more steps than they did.
No, I agree with that. I agree with you on that.
Like even I recognize how many steps I skipped in comparison to some people who might even be 10, maybe not even like 5 to 10 years more seasoned than me. Like. So I think it's way easier to skip steps these days. When I say skip steps, I'm talking about like salary bumps, right? Salaries, like it's all about timing, really. With a lot of these roles and a lot of these salaries.
Yeah, but too is I expect that role to have a skill set with it too to make it make sense, right? For you to skip those roles, right?
I see what you
now. What he did now? What did he do before the Uber job or whatever he was doing before that? I mean, I'm sure he has some skills before that, or is this his first time working in corporate America, getting this job?
Stop that, keep it techie. You giving me credit.
I'm trying to give him too much grace.
Really,
stop
really
giving
on
it to
YouTube.
him.
He was on YouTube making like Christian videos.
Yeah, come on, keep it techie. Don't be giving me no extra, man. You give me extra, man. You give that dude
trying
extra.
To help him out a little bit.
He was on YouTube, so he was good at content creation.
Okay.
He was probably pretty good at like marketing. I think he marketed himself like really well, and he was able to move up probably. Yeah.
Sales is a different game too. I want to throw that out. I'm always kind of, I ain't gonna say I've done technical sales where I help the sales. I just can't go in and sell at. Shout out to Black Heights and that whole tree. That's just something I'm just not comfortable with.
And tech sales has a factor in it that a lot of the normal tech roles don't. It's that a lot of times their performance is associated with their compensation. So if they increase in their performance, they have an increase in compensation. It comes faster than for us because we'll have like an annual bonus, annual performance bonus. They'll have like a sales cycle, like a quarterly large bonus based upon how much they've hit their sales targets. So if they sell more, they have a higher potential to earn more in a shorter period of time than for somebody like us.
I'm gonna tell you what I saw. I worked at a Fortune 500 pharmaceuticals.
Welcome.
Those guys knew what they wanted to buy for hardware. The most beautiful women used to come in and touch these nerves and sell them about $500,000 worth of HP Superdome stuff and take them to lunch, man. And their bonuses was crazy because those guys already knew what they wanted, right? So it was just so if you get in the right niche with the right product. If you're gonna buy Splunk, you're gonna buy it anyway, and the damn price gonna be astronomical, and you're gonna get your commission on it, right? So you gotta be in the right territory with the right product, and you can kill the game, man.
Yeah.
So I think that Operation Takeover answered PBO's question.
This one.
My question. Oh.
You met a lady at a new company at a networking event in Atlanta, 145 OTE. On-time earnings, which means that he has particular goals that he has to meet in order to hit this particular number. But the thing is that if you go beyond this, your earning potential is beyond this 145.
Facts, because you get commission on these. What if you don't make it? What if you're in a downturn?
Now that's another thing. There's more attrition with some of those roles.
So those the first going. They the first one gone. They the first one gone, man. They the first one gone.
Because they still have to pay your base. That's the thing. They still have to pay your base. But if you're not a seller, a owner, or a high performer, then they'll get you out of there. Yup. Okay, let's look at a couple more of these. The dues. It says, and I'm gonna try to go as fast as possible so that we can still have a lot of the conversation. I know the conversation is flowing. But I did want to cover a couple of more of these points. So it says dues, and this is as it concerns salary negotiations here. Be appreciative and polite. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I mix it up. I mix it up between appreciative and polite and trolling. Be specific. If that's a big thing there. If you want a certain number, tell them that number. Don't tell them a range. Tell them if you want 180 for that role, tell them 195. I'm telling you, that's what you want to do. Like you also do kind of want to overshoot where you want in order for you to kind of come a little back down in the negotiation because it leaves some room to negotiate there. So be specific. Provide justification. Justification comes in the form of like years of experience, certifications, what you can bring to the organization, kind of some of those things. Be confident. Yeah, tell them what's up. Consider the full package, right? So not only just the base salary, don't only just talk about the base salary, but also talk about that equity opportunities, sign-on bonus opportunities, days off, work from home, the autonomy to move into other groups within the organization. You might also want that as a part of your role, where you don't want to just do one thing, but you might want to have some type of rotational program. So those are some of the do's there, and the don't say yes immediate. Don't say yes immediately. Never say yes immediately. Say looking to make but I'm open to negotiating. I don't. Yeah, maybe these because these kind of like I don't know. They a little slimy. I'm looking to make this, but I'm open to negotiate. I don't know. Exactly. Boom. Don't reveal your current or past salary. And one, the last one, it said be unrealistic or impolite. Avoid ultimatums. I don't know. I use this sometimes. Let me tell you when I use it. I'll say this and I'll pass it on. Sometimes I'm a little more rash when they are not forthcoming with information. So if they're like, what are you expecting for this role? I tell them the number. Then they say, we can talk about it more later. I'm like, we can talk about it more now. Like, we can talk about that number, because I do want to. So I'll say like something like, I want to understand what the salary is for this role, and if my salary expectations can be met before I partake in this in the interview process, because I don't want any surprises here, right? And they might be like, well, we don't know. I got to go back to the hiring manager. Well, let me know after you go back to the hiring manager if my salary expectations can be met before we proceed. So that you can say that's polite, but I think that's a little sluggery. That's a little. But go ahead, y'all. What do y'all think about the do's and the don'ts, or do y'all have anything as input there or experience?
Yeah, I can agree with that, Gabe. I mean, honestly, I know you be putting on your black Air Force Ones and stuff like that, but
as always,
a lot of people are, especially in the tech industry, a lot of people are a little bit more mild mannered. Yeah, I'll say. So we're not going to be going and jumping out the window and being like, oh, we can talk about this right now. I mean, we're kind of more like, okay, more well reserved when it comes to that don't. Because if I'm going, and I have had one example where I have gone for a job and the interview was just so bad. I was like, I don't even care to work here. I honestly just like, and I asked a question, right? I asked, so this was, I'll give the short story. I went into an interview and I was, went to the interview with Delta. And the interview was just going so weird. I didn't know exactly what the requirements of the role was. It was supposed to be specific to a database administrator type of position.
Sure.
But they were asking for people to have piloting experience, and it just didn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
And then I say, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. Then when they were explaining the position, it didn't make sense. The guy who was sitting next to me, who was interviewing me, he seemed like he didn't like his job. So I was like, okay, I don't really feel like I'm a good fit for this company. So I just asked a question. And this wasn't overtly impolite or rude or anything like that. But the question was, because I had read up on the company, I asked them the question of, what are they doing with the pilots? I said going on strike, but what they were actually doing was they were trying to negotiate their salaries, essentially.
Okay. And so you asked what would the pilot? Yeah, it's like sounds like a union or something. Okay.
Yes. So I asked that specific question. They blew up on me. And they did.
I don't got nothing to do with the role that you get interviewed for. I blew up on you. No, just
yeah. But anyway, I had just talked about how I did research on the company because I didn't understand much about the role, but I wanted to know more about the company, see how the company itself is doing.
Okay.
So asked that question. Did not get the job, obviously.
Yeah.
But that is to further explain that do not go in there being impolite or bringing up questions that may put you in a bad light.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, anybody else? You got anything on the do's and don'ts or experience there, or should we just finish?
No, you kind of hit on all the points, perfectly or whatever.
Okay.
Don't reveal. That's a big one. Don't reveal your current and past salary. Let them, give the salaries out or speak to those salaries for the current position. Don't tell them what you currently making, and also be confident and assertive. Mm-hmm. So I agree.
And they give a couple of examples here too. Like, what does weak look like versus strong statements? Weak is saying I'm looking to make 120K, right? Mm-hmm. Strong is I'm interviewing for positions that pay between 100 and I wouldn't even say that pay between 120 and 140K. I'm okay. I say weak, strong, stronger. The stronger one I would say is I am looking for this role. I desire to make $145,000. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say I'm interviewing for roles that pay between. I say I'm looking to make 145K if I want 140.
Yeah, just give the number.
Yeah, get a number. Don't do not give them ranges, because that gives them an opportunity to offer you 125K. And if they offer you 125K, they can always say that's the range that you provided to us. You know what I mean? Like, it's within the range that you provided, but what you want is closer to that, closer or almost right there at that 140. So if you said 145, they might even give you 135 or 140, right? But go ahead, keep it techie.
No, I was just gonna say that, and I forgot to add to what you were saying earlier as well. You put some fluff on it.
Yeah,
put some fluff on it, man.
Fluff.
Like just put a little bit up there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That way you can negotiate down. It's the same way as selling something on Craigslist or Marketplace, whatever they do. I put fluff on it. You know, if I'm selling a vehicle that and I want $8,000, I'm gonna start the payment I'm gonna start the amount that I want for that vehicle as $10,000 on the ad.
Yeah,
and then let the people, because they feel like they came out with a deal.
Yep.
And exactly you got what you wanted.
Yep. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck. And don't listen. And the thing is that, again, you want to work from a position of lack of desperation. You don't want to be negotiating desperate. So always try to make sure that I don't know. I always say this: don't leave an opportunity unless you're forced out, of course. But don't leave an opportunity unless you have to. And if you're about to leave it somewhere where you're currently at, then stay there until you find you have another offer on the table. I don't just go out there, because that's leverage. Because you can say, I don't want that. I'm happy where I'm at. And don't tell them that you're like, if you're unhappy in your current job, don't tell them that you're unhappy. Don't tell them that, because that also gives them leverage, because they're like, well, this person's trying to get out anyway. So we're going to give them something that we want more, because they'll probably be more apt to accepting it no matter what, because they're trying to leave. Many times I'll apply to roles, but mainly I'll respond to people and they'll be like, so why are you looking to leave your role? I'm like, well, you reached out to me. So I'm happy where I'm at, but I'm always open to hearing about new opportunities. Let's hear about this opportunity that you have for me, right? And again, that may be just my personality. I don't know. Some recruiters, I don't know. So it's here and there with recruiters. I ain't gonna lie. It's here and there. But yeah, that's just me. Anything else I want to input here? I know we coming up on the 2-hour mark, so I bet that we all getting a little tired here. These are just some scripts, and take a look at these here on the right for the salary resources, because they have Glassdoor, Comparably, Blind, Salary Expert, RepView. 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and Levels, that's a good one. Levels.fyi. I think I learned about that one from you, Lou. I think you put that up on something.
Oh, I put you on what, bro?
Levels, I think.
Yeah,
I remember you talked about it.
No, I remember. Yeah, I remember it was funny. That Gabe was on a panel one time, and I was like, I know about Levels, because that's what they all use to get in those main companies. Yeah, Levels is good. Is good work.
Levels is amazing.
I like Blind too. Blind is. This is what I said about Blind. I'm gonna be real, bro.
Tell us about it.
I actually prefer Blind over like Reddit. Like totally, bro. I mean, because for one, Blind has a better vetted system for users. So like on Reddit, right? Everybody who can't find a job, everybody who's fresh out of school looking for a job, they can't get an internship. Oh, the tech market's trash. Oh, it's over for software developers, engineers. Oh, it's too late to learn how to code. Oh, AI, all that crying stuff is always on Reddit. But when you go on Blind, to have an account on Blind, you have to have a work email in order to have an account. Yep. So you're already vetted through the door, and it's a totally different conversation on Blind. They tell you about different FANG companies. Like, apparently Amazon is like the worst FANG company to work at. And I think
apparently that's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Google's the best out of all of them. And then too, I think LinkedIn has like a tenure list. Like, they show you how long people are there. And then they tell you like what you got to do, man. They tell you, leak code. Or some people, they have lists of companies that don't do leak code interviews. And then I guess some people are changing. It all depends. I know if you're doing cybersecurity, you definitely have to worry about leak code or anything like that. And you'll still have a job. You can still work at FANG.
No. So for security engineering roles or security software engineers, you still have to leak code for those Google rounds.
Really?
Yeah, because they pretty much bring like you're being brought in on a software engineering track, but you just have security projects that you're on. Yeah, I was.
Oh, cool. Look at Gay.
That's why I know about leak code, because
hey, you've been putting me on into this cybersecurity hybrid software game. I'm telling you, bro. Give me about a couple years, bro. I'm gonna be on that side.
I'm still at what was it, two some? So no, I'm not that far into it. I just know about it. I've just read the articles and things. I can't even pass 2 some by myself. So
I don't worry. I'm about to start that on my channel right now. We're gonna go through these 2 some. We're gonna break these 2 some. We're gonna do a leak code project, a 3 some, a 4 some. We got
that's a leak code project or a leak code problem. That's it's like the lowest level. And I was just like, I was trying to do it in Python. I could do it. It's just that I need to understand the concepts behind it. But anyway.
Yeah, it's just like it's certain patterns that they have in order to solve each problem. It's really just repetition.
Yeah. Anything else y'all want to add, or any other subjects that y'all want to talk about? I know we've been talking.
Shout out to Keep It Techie, man. He put me on to this thing called Descript.
Okay.
Just want to give you your flowers, Keep It Techie, man. I appreciate it, bro. You really helped me out with that.
Salute.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, on that note, I don't want to.
What he's my bad.
Sorry, go ahead,
I was just going to explain what it was, and for all you other content creators, it's basically a AI based editing software, and you pay. And I know you don't do editing, that's why I ain't kind of bring it up to you, Gabe. You just kind of send it off, right? Yeah. But it helps with the editing of videos. So it creates the transcript for you. And you can, and versus going through and just editing the video, just trying to find what you said where, you could see the transcript and you could read the words you said, and you could delete out duplicate things or the all that stuff, and it'll just remove it from the video. So it's super cool.
Okay,
that's what's up.
I'm like Gabe. I don't edit much, man. It is what it is, man.
I don't edit nothing in that mug off. Well, on that note, I think that comes to the end of the stream. I think we talked a lot about things here. I'm gonna throw that link. Let me see. I'm gonna throw the link for the salary offer negotiation cheat sheet. I'll throw it in the chat for you all. But is there anything else that you all want to talk about before we drop down?
I
don't know why. I typically be tired, but I'm good today. I got all the energy. I don't know.
So 5K kicking in. The 5K kicking in, man.
It's kicking in. Well, thank you all for coming through. Thank you all for being on the panel, and I appreciate you all. And yeah, that's the end of the stream. So come back next time for Struggle Security, normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. All right, everybody. All right, peace out.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Okay, peace. Thanks for coming through.